Okay, so we're back on, and there is the beast. She is actually in lovely condition. Well, she is now. So we've got the stock wheels, 18 inch all round. I was going to get the staggered ones, but I'll stick with these. This is the 45-year anniversary model, which has got one or two increases from the base GT. It's got a panoramic sunroof. They fiddled around with the engine a bit. One or two little styling features. Right, now let's have a look at the front. The front's excellent. The only downside with Fords of this era is they were going through a quality control issue with the paintwork, and if you get any piece of sand or a stone that comes up, it chips. I've got a beautiful chip that happened this morning, to tell you the truth. Just there. I don't know whether you can see it, just there, and two more there. Wonderful. Okay, so the issues that I had when I bought the car were, dive over here, you can see that front right hand headlight is foggy. There's a crack, I'm guessing, behind the front bit and the back bit that join together, which lets in moisture. So I've got to seal that and then blow it out with compressed air or a hairdryer, or just leave it in the sun for 10 minutes. And that'll clear that down to what that one looks like. What else have I had done? The suspension, as I said, was sagging on the other side. That was banged with a hammer. A lot of grit and sand and goodness knows what came out. And now, if I walk back a tad, you can see she's sitting bloody square. That's a technical term. The two exhausts are stock. Now this engine punches out 300 brake horse when new. I would imagine mine's about 280 at the moment. So the new exhausts are SLP loud mouth, which are, as the name suggests, a clue. I'll start the engine with the stock exhaust, and then I'll do another vid, maybe add it on to the end of this, of the new exhausts. Okay, scrolling down the side, nothing thrilling there. The new exhausts I bought are axle backs. That's the axle, so it's axle back. Exhausts come in three parts. If I stand back here, I'll maybe show you better. They go from the block, the manifold, all the way to the back, and they're in three parts: the manifold to the middle section here, the catalytic converter, from there to the axle to the end. I bought, oh well, basically, before I tell you that, the performance comes from the engine and the headers to the first strangle point, which is the middle bit, the converter. That strangles the life out of an engine. Then it comes down a straight pipe to the mufflers at the back, which make the sound, which also strangle it a little bit. Well, if you've got a V8 like that is, you want the V8 burble. Well, that's got the V8 burble, but I want more. So I bought the muffler section from the axle back. And it's basically, how can I put this? No muffler. So it will sound good when it's all rock and rolling. Now, to help it breathe, these engines, they're good for 400 brake horsepower until they start throwing pistons and rods out the front. So you don't want to mess with these engines unless you're going to do something serious, anything over 400. This is 300, and as I say, when it came back to the factory it was 3, now it's probably a little bit less. So What Ford did in their wisdom, and it was a good idea, was they strangled the engine at birth. So they put an air filter on it, a cold air intake on it, the size of a A4 box of paper, if you've ever seen one of them. And it just strangles it. So I've bought a new cold air intake for it, which I'm having installed at the same time as the exhaust, because they're all coming at the same time. And that will allow more air to enter the engine, allowing more flow. And as we all know, more air equals more power. Alright, so I think I've bored you senseless with the outside of this. It really is a cracking paint. It's not black, it's kind of a speckly, I don't know, dark grey, I guess. It's pretty flawless, apart from one or two areas that someone opened their door on that first 5 minutes I had the car. Okay, inside it's got red leather upholstery. Now you wouldn't want to be sitting in the back seat, an adult, any 6 foot adult, any longer than 10 minutes. Kids are fine, no problem with that. Stick your golf bag in fact, I've got a golf bag in the boot. All the electrical equipment that you need, fore and back, up and down. The back section, this up and down bit, it moves it down, it doesn't move it up, which is a bloody shame. So I might get that fixed. Okay, interior, here's my panoramic sunroof, goes all the way back. I've got it closed at the minute because it's bloody hot. Okay, this interior light section here didn't work. Well, to be honest, it still doesn't. It worked when I got the car, and when he was showing it me, he pressed the on switches to show me, and they wouldn't go off. So I made some complaint about, well, it's a defect and I'll need a new battery every 10 minutes. And he knocked a bit more off. Anyway, what I did, I pulled this out, disconnected the switch between this and the main body, and now this is lifeless. One day I'll get around to fixing these 2 points here if I can be bothered. I'll never use a car at night anyway. Okay, we've got airbags, front, side, we've got side impact ones, we've got ones in here, we've got ones in the seat. Got traditional retro styling, which I happen to love. Where's my keys? Just a minute. I'll see if I can kick this beast into action. Here we go. So we've got fuel, temperature, turn old Bruce off, temperature, battery and oil. Kick it into action. We are a automatic. I got to be honest with you, the manual clutch is a pig. It's only got one setting. No, it's got two settings, in or out. There's no in between movement, and at my age you can't be doing with any of that rubbish. So automatic it is. It's I think it's 6-speed. Basic shaker 6. MP3 in those days, 2009 this was. MP3 CD unit, I think it holds 6 CDs. It's got a computer that you can set up for your lights. This button down here turns your lights green, red, white, orange, you name it. You can reset the dial information for miles per gallon, journey time, everything through that button there, and it appears on the screen down there somewhere. We've got traction control, which you always have on. In fact, turning that off sends a message to the nearest hospital that you're on your way. These are notoriously backside happy. I've had this sideways this morning, by accelerating a little bit too enthusiastically through a set of traffic lights. So traction control always on. Conveniently placed next to the hazard warning, so when you've had your accident your finger just goes across. AC controls down there, and you've got more controls down the bottom, which you never use. Handbrake, which you never use because you've got your park setting. A little bit of a glove compartment. The windows, this is sealed quite well, so when you open your doors the windows drop down a little bit, and you close them and they automatically raise and seal. Alright, let's kick this beast into action and see what it sounds like. I'll take you out the back. There you can hear that lovely V8 burble on stock exhausts. What it's going to be like when I get my big ones, who knows. Now this has also had glass tinting by Titanium. This was on the car when I bought it. It was on the front as well, the windscreen. And me being me, when I first sat in here, I had a little bit here that I thought was a plastic wrapper, and I pulled it to there and realised that it was in fact the sunshade of the actual window section, the tint. So my plan is to have this windscreen redone and get rid of this bit of a mistake I made. So things that are happening, let me just put you back on front facing. It doesn't really want to go, does it? It doesn't really want to go back to front facing. Okay, so I'll go outside. In fact, I'll turn it off first because it's using petrol. Not that we're bothered over here, it's quite cheap. Right, so things which are being done in the near future. I've ordered some things from American Muscle. I've ordered the cold air intake, I've ordered the rear noisy exhausts, oh, and the rear lights. When those arrive, which should be sometime this week, they'll be installed by the garage that I went to do my service. Oh, I haven't told you, because this was I don't know, 9 years in the desert sun with the way that the people drive over here. I couldn't guarantee what condition the engine and the oils were in. So what I did was I had every single oil replaced. Start up front, we had the radiator, we had the engine oil, we had the windscreen washer oil, we had the brake fluid, we had the clutch fluid, we had the rear axle. Have I missed anything? Maybe, but I had everything done. There was a dodgy indicator. I think on the right hand side it would indicate as normal, and that was the sound effect. And on the right, on the opposite side, it kind of went. So I made some big deal about this, and he knocked a bit more off. But what it was a bulb. I think it was the bulb in the front one. No, it wasn't. It was the bulb in the back. When you indicate, let me get this right, these two flash, and only one of them was flashing. What else did they do? Well, they did the suspension, I've told you about that. So that's what's got to happen. And then the luxury items, and they are luxury, the luxury items will be internal, nothing except this strip here, the sun strip. I love it exactly as it is, wouldn't change it for the world, think it's fantastic. That's staying. Do I put stripes on? Do I not? My God, I'm 60 years old, for God's sake. I think the car would look hideous with stripes. I prefer the understated classic 45 anniversary look. I think stripes would spoil it. They would hide some of the paint that's been damaged by stones, but excuse me. But that's not the point. So skip the stripes. I've got a little tinsy wincy little mark here that needs a little gentle blow over. That's what do you call that? A luxury item. The headlight's a luxury item, but I tell you what, I might need to get that fixed for the October equivalent of the MOT that we have over here. Although normal rules are, if you normally bung them a fiver, they'll write you a ticket. Disgraceful. The 4 new tyres, if I can zoom in on these beasts, you can see they're all hunky-dory. There's nothing wrong with those. Nowhere near the wear bar, which is there, but they are 235s. Where are we? 235 by 50 by 18s, and that 97 at the back tells you. No, it doesn't. What tells you the age? I think it's that one. Something here tells you the age, and someone told me it was 4 years, so it's got to be changed. So there you go, Steve McQueen and Bullet, except mine's a more modern version of his old claptrap thing. Anyone know where I can get the Bullet themed tune for my mobile phone? Let me know. Right, so there we go, a long and winding and ultimately useless YouTube blog on the condition of my 15,000 Rial, £3,000 Mustang. More to follow when I get my little things installed, hopefully next week. Bye. Peace.